What is up? What is up? What is up, YouTube? What's up, Steam blockchain? Today I wanna talk a little bit about something that I haven't seen that many people cover from this angle that much, and that is about the expansion part of being human, and how that sort of can relate to the internet. And so many times when I see discussions on the internet, well, people are talking about decentralized or decentralized things. Something that people don't like in many ways. They don't like authority and stuff like that. But I think one angle of all of this is the human potential expansion part. That if you want to, let's say, expand a lot, and humans are always looking to expand, they want to grow, they want some more, and then they want some more, and then they want some more. Humans basically want everything. If there is a little more that they can get, they want it. And so the expansion part, what are humans doing when they do videos, photos, they write blog stuff? What are they doing? They're trying to grow, they're trying to expand, they're trying to see where things can go. They try to see if they can grow a little bit. And what is happening with the current platforms, which is being decentralized, what's happening is people are becoming, they're gaining quite an influence. And what is happening is that it becomes really, really crowded to grow on a centralized place. Not because there's anything wrong with the place, it's just that it can become too crowded. What I mean is, usually when you open up a centralized app, it doesn't feel like there's much room to do stuff. It's almost like you have a room and everyone is in the same room, and you can almost not move because there's so much packed into that room, and that makes people feel limited, and humans don't like it. So one big aspect of this whole decentralized movement is probably, it is a little bit about, I don't like authority and things like that, but I think the bigger aspect is the expansion part, that humans are just realizing the limited aspects of a centralized platform. And just too crowded. Let's take the Instagram app. You open it up and you see thousands of people basically, but if you go to their page, it's only some photos and videos people are allowed to do. So a person cannot really try to expand their identity that much. They just can't. It's too crowded. There's too many people in the same app, and they sort of suffer from a scalability issue, because with scale, one thing you want to scale also, if you want to scale a system well, is you want to scale power. And this is an aspect which the technology on centralized platforms, it cannot scale power. Because then, if you want to scale it real well, it means that you need to give access. A person that's using a service, you need to allow them access to certain level of influence, where they can tweak things, where they can adjust things. Because you need a lot of people. You need a lot of people in responsible roles. So they just can't scale power and influence. And it's really a lot about the foundation. you need blocks. You need a strong foundation, right? You cannot build an empire on sand. It's gonna collapse. You need something good in the background. So people, and this was something that they saw with Bitcoin, the double spam problem, but it can also be for verify information, verify transparency, and at least trying to make things more transparent with blocks. You verify things. For example, I think that most people realize on blockchain platforms, they feel safe in the aspect, or they may feel safer when they know that something that they're doing is being put in a block. So someone can go back and look at that block, and I think most people will enjoy that in the long run. But let's go back to that aspect of expansion. Human potential expansion. You can take it really far. Yes, we see that it starts to open up more and more, that the human can do more. You can do your own token, you can do your own blockchain, you can be a developer, all of this. But you can take it that even a step further. What about technology? What about hardware? Making your own hardware, making your own software. It's probably going to eventually go to that place. And it's really all about expanding. Just as the universe seems to be expanding, humans want to expand. Because it's an intelligent cosmos. If everything is expanding, we sort of want to expand. So anything that sort of is not expanding is sort of stagnant. It's like a river does not have water flowing. It's like something is blocking the flow of innovation. So and I think I talked a little bit about this in the past, that even decentralized apps, people, I do see that almost as inevitable that people are gonna have their own. Yeah, first you have what people call decentralized apps, which is you're connecting to a blockchain, but there's still people usually still rely on some developer to create some kind of interface. The next level is really going to be about humans creating or be able to customize their own interface. Yes, people are doing this at small scale. They're doing it at small scale. For example, if you have the Brave browser or if you have the Chrome browser, you can install uBlock Origin, and you can, for example, you can customize the interface by removing certain parts. But the next phase is going to be how you're going to get better fluidity between devices, and you'll be able to add stuff also to an interface. And when software becomes more fluid, as we're seeing also with blockchains, how every chain is going to connect to another chain, the customized interface reality is going to pop up more and more. And there are some things that's stopping this right now or slowing it down. For example, Apple wants to have control over the software. They sort of cut down on the jailbreak movement that was big 2009, 2010. That was pretty sad because we saw a lot of cool innovation, but that is one aspect that sort of slowed things down. Samsung or Google with their hardware, they sort of want to have some form of still sort of control over the UI experience and what a person is doing, but I don't see that last. I don't see it last, because when everything eventually moves to software or hardware becomes extremely cheap, people can really start to do some really customized technology and experiment around with that. And it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be fascinating because people need better technology. People need better technology that has better access. So we know, for example, that companies, we know Facebook, for example, that owns even Instagram, they're sort of exploring this the blockchain and what is going on in this space. We see banks, they also try to explore it, and we also see governments try to explore what this space really means. And what usually happens is they say, oh, we are researching how we're going to implement this. But I don't think most of these teams have any idea of what to do. And what I think is going to happen is eventually technology and innovation is just going to push things forward. It's eventually just going to change naturally, because it's not going to slow down. Technology is going to speed up in change, and that is going to be quite fascinating. It gets quite interesting when each person decides exactly what is on their tech device, exactly what kind of apps they want to have, exactly what kind of AI they want to have, exactly what kind of browser they want to use, exactly what kind of interface they want to use, exactly what they want to remove from an interface. That is interesting, and a lot of people don't talk about this expansion idea. That I think actually that is more of the growth, that is more of what people are searching for. For example, when people find something that's just better, that makes them feel more free, it gets very hard to go back to something that you used in the past, because you see how that limited you. So you even had that in the past when people sort of realized, or when books became mainstream, people sort of felt that was like the ultimate liberation. Oh, I can read, I can find my own knowledge. Now we have had that phase of now when everyone's starting to have access to knowledge, that doesn't feel like the ultimate liberation. And that is when people really going to start to look at all these other structures and see, oh, wait a sec, this structure is sort of limiting. I want to build my own hardware, I want to build my own software, I want to build my own blockchains, I want to have my own tokens, I want to customize it all, I want to be able to decide exactly what kind of apps and services that I can use. I want to even be able to design movies, novels, TV shows, games, whatever. People are going to start to look at it and realize, oh, wait a sec, a person can create anything in this space. And that was something that I realized sort of with code when I built some websites or did some things. What you realize is how much a person can build, and that everything that you see is someone just built it. And we usually get a little bit lazy there, where we sort of rely on someone else to do something cool, and that's fine too. But it's also cool when a person realizes, oh wait, people, this world that we live in, this universe, people can actually create stuff, and people start to adopt it. That is fascinating. I started to see limitations. For example, when you Google stuff, the search results are just getting worse and worse almost, because people, not because, I mean, it sort of is the same information as it always has been there, but it sort of started to feel limiting because it is not the data that you usually want to see. When you get exposed to some data, you sort of see the pattern of it, and then you sort of see, wait a sec, I've seen this in the past. So Google search results are not really bringing up that much exciting stuff anymore. Even when you search for news, a lot of websites, we're sort of in this phase where a lot of websites, they sort of try to go back to the old world, where, oh wait a sec, we want to lock down our value. They want to sort of try to simulate the scarcity of knowledge, so they create these paywalls. And it's this very weird phase, because I do understand from their perspective, because they sort of want to try to get in revenue, and they sort of in a mix here, or the world is moving into a new economic paradigm, a new economic system. And what sort of happens is you get all these companies that are sort of stuck in between, and we're probably going to be in this phase for at least the next 5 years, where it's going to be a lot of confusion, and people need salary. I mean, people need some value, and it's going to take the shift to move people to a new system. It means that every single system, every single device, every software, all needs to be updated, all needs to be connected together, and it's going to take some time. There's going to be a lot of disruption. But once, ideally, we get to this phase where a person has a device and they can exactly decide how they want to use that device. It puts the consumer basically in the driver's seat. A person should very easily be able to have some website up and running, and just removing all the middlemen, all these tasks that is not really needed anymore. And I don't think this is bad for middlemen, because middlemen, they can do something else, right? They can do something else where talent is needed, and that is kind of cool. Everyone basically is going to benefit from more efficient systems, but it's going to be some disruption. It's going to be some disruption basically, because people are going to see, wait a sec, I don't like this old system because it doesn't save time and energy, and people value their time and energy. So when they find something better, they're just going to move over to that system. So it's interesting to talk about this. I noticed, for example, with my smartphone, you realize how good it is. You realize how fast it is at pulling up information. So now it's all about just when information is just so widely available, and if people sitting on their phones all day long, of course everyone eventually is going to move to, well, can I make some value with this device? Like, where's the tokens? Can I do some work? And if I can do some work, that's awesome. For example, I have a YouTube channel, and I think I earned around maybe 50 euros or $70 a day on that. But I sort of feel like it's so much hassle with getting payments out. It's just once every 30 days. It goes to a bank account, and then just moving the value around is so slow. And I would rather just have a system that just gives a few tokens a day, and you're good, right? You're good. It's almost like I can take, I don't need $70 a day. I use like, I don't know, 3 tokens a day, and it's nice. It's nice how you eventually can normalize online digital trade and not make it into this massive thing. It shouldn't be a massive thing. It should just be, trade should just be peer-to-peer, and it shouldn't be seen as this people enjoy the idea of the moon, I know, but eventually it should just be about doing simple transactions, and I don't think it's gonna be a big deal eventually, because people are gonna see, wait a sec, this is just numbers. This really is just numbers. And people are gonna see, probably, that they need less numbers to do things. Scarcity, yes. People got into real estate because they wanted to protect value. But I don't think real estate is going to be the big thing. I think that people would rather get some tokens and store them, probably in a deposit chain eventually, because I'd rather have some value stored in some blocks than some physical building. Even though physical buildings may be good as well, but you look at the network effect. Again, real estate, yeah, it can go up in value, of course, but you look at the network effects of blockchain and crypto, and how many more people it tries to create an effect where everyone is basically using the same systems. Clearly that's going to be way more efficient. Clearly that's going to have way more value eventually. So yeah, it's interesting. The expanding universe. How do you expand a centralized app? Can you? The only thing I see they doing is they standing at the same place and nothing is happening. There's not any excitement or exciting movements. It's always the same things, because people sort of feel that they're in this box and there's not much you can do. But here's an idea. If you are on a blockchain system, if you are on a decentralized blockchain or whatever, if you are in that system, if you get some tokens, if you get some value, you get access to value, or if you get some value, you get access to opportunity. And when you get access to opportunity, because you have some tokens, you can trade them, you may start to look at things differently. And that is exciting, because access, it's really all about access. And I don't think people consider the exponential change when people get access. When people get access, they might do something they've never done in the past, and that is quite exciting. So it's fun to talk about these topics. I'm probably going to talk more about it in the future. Have a great day. Steam, blockchain, and DTube. Bye bye.